Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Doctor Who review, episode 45. Here we're reviewing the second to last story of the Key to Time story arc, The Power of Kroll, which is also the 102nd story. Now, this was released from December 23rd, 1978 to January 13th, 1979. Yeah, it's a four-parter. I did a review of some people like Paul Cornell and a few people said the story is very slow. It kind of is, though it has a very, like the first half is very slow, and then it gets really quick by the second half. And this one, now here's the thing. This is also the first story, probably since his debut, just before his debut. K9 is not featured in the story. Why? Swampland. Yep, that's simply the reason for it. So, the story is that when Dr. Lenz has been looking for a segment of the Key of Time, so we have two different parties basically trying to kill each other over land. We have the people from Delta Minor. Oh, apparently also in the future, Earth is still abandoned. They call it Mother Earth. They want to go over there and starve. I'm like, is there anything really there? That's one kind of weird thing about some of these ones set in the future. What year this is set in, they never state at all. It's all we can say is at some point in the future, we have the greedy humans from Delta Minor, an Earth colony, and we have the swamp people. Yes, seriously. Oh, and by the way, there's an allegory here for reservation. Basically, we're kind of like Native Americans, when they're forced to move in order for progress, and then here they're asked to move again because of reasons. Now, of course, Star Trek we actually use as a plot device in the final season of Season 7, Journey's End, which the plot of that one is moving these colonists because, get this, something really stupid happened. The Federation of Cardassians signed a treaty. Like, okay, that's fine. In the treaty itself, they had to swap colonies. No, seriously. Oh, by the way, they do not consent the people who are living there. Nope, they do not consent at all. Oh, and here's something though. Do you know the rest of that planet were actually Native Americans? Yes, seriously. And these swamp people, like, it's like basically, like the whole thing was swamps. It reminds me of the Seminoles, kind of in a way. Oh, by the way, the swamp people are lily people. They're painted green. They wear, stuff you think people are barbarians. And it looks like they wear, like, mops in their heads. Like, what the heck is this? Oh, and they work this thing called Kroll, which is a giant squid. Yeah. Oh, boy. This thing here, Kroll, which is what they worship, yeah. The image itself is not entirely accurate to what he looks like in the thing. Like, this one looks scary than the one that appears in the actual show itself. Oh my gosh. Visually, he looks very goofy, but I don't mind the special effect, basically how he's utilized here. Because it's aged fine. I don't think it aged terribly. I gotta say, he at least looks better than the Loch Ness Monster who appeared in the Terror of the Zygons, which, by the way, that was 4 years prior to this. No, seriously, 4 years prior, we have the Terror of the Zygons, and we had the Loch Ness Monster, and that was a terrible special effect for that monster. This one, yeah, it's better. Oh, by the way, they say this thing's vegetarian, and yet we see like a total of 3 people get eaten by this creature. 2 swamp people and one of the miners. Now, apparently the mining person, when the doctor arrives there, he, of course, like in the case of Andrew Terra, we have Orlando, a different group, and we have Doctor this other group. It is very similar. And, oh yeah, by the way, in the story, we have a thing where, they escape and Romani gets recaptured. Yep, but Doc gets recaptured too. Yep, it's like basically Robert Holmes just reused plot devices from the previous story, Androids of Terra. Oh, this time instead of frickin' androids in this one, we have a frickin' monster. Which, I like the suspense for him. And I like the look of the refinery, the interior. Though the interior itself looks very similar to the one they used in the Nirvana space station from the first season of the Tom Baker run. It looks like the same exact interior, the one I can tell anyways, except it's been repainted. That's seriously what this is. Though it's a very small interior, what do we get? We get maybe one control room, one brief hallway, a pipe room, and that's it. We don't get much of this refinery. It's shown in the thing that this place is huge, and yet we see like 2 rooms in the hallway. It's like, it shows the fact that that BBC did not have a budget with this episode. And from what I read, apparently, at the time when this aired, yes, at the time when this aired, the BBC had just come back from a strike. Because they apparently were on strike for like about 2 weeks. Yes, what kind of strike was it? I don't know. I didn't look further than that. But yeah, a strike. Yes, a freaking strike happening during the Key to Time story arc. Now, I don't mind the writing here. It's just some of the stuff here just... I kind of thought this over the story. It felt a bit rushed. Do I think that this particular story could have used 1 or 2 episodes? Yes, I think so. Like, for example, when they show the interior of the temple they have, what do we get? Just 1 room and basically a portway. Oh, and the way of like executing after they're captured, when they're captured, is being tied up on this. By the way, it looks like pallets from a warehouse. Yes, seriously, they put them on pallets and put these boards like where the feet are, and they execute them by stretching them with vines. You're thinking, that's a stupid execution. And it is. Oh yeah, they say it's one of the 7 executions under the power of Krolln. Even though this high priest, oh boy, this high priest is bullcrap. My God. He worships a giant squid who freaking kills them. At one point he says, oh, if they don't bother to find them, or basically sacrifice the whole freaking tribe. And the way he works, apparently in this he's the high priest. He's apparently also leader of the tribe. I'm like, that makes no freaking sense. A high priest is not leader of a tribe. Yeah, I thought that was kind of stupid. Oh, and also the refinery there. Oh yeah, they say they have 6 people. They actually have 5. I only saw like 4 people. Because I saw the guy who was in charge of the place, one other guy, a guy who works censored. Now, also in the episode story here, the guy gets killed in the final part because I think he's sabotaging, so he disagreed with what he wanted to do. And they also mention about the Sons of Earth. Like, they don't really show what the... Now, they do mention what they want to do. They want to basically go back to Mother Earth and starve. Basically, ever go home. Yes. So, and by the way, there's this weapons trader who's played by the actor who voices K9. Yes. This is his only live action appearance date. This guy here voices K9, the beloved K9. I did read apparently the actor originally they had to play this part dropped out last minute, so they brought in K9's voice actor to play this character. Probably because K9 was not going to be used in the story because it's a swamp and they didn't want to damage the actual prop itself, which smart on them. And plus, it's basically lots of water. It would damage the robot anyways, so... it feels like... Oh, by the way, where's the key to time? Well, the whole thing with that, it's like, Romana drops the tracer, and then the Doctor finds it. Oh, by the way, we actually have where, the guy who basically is the radar guy, he gets killed. And then for some strange reason, they show his body behind this console, and his legs are moving. No, seriously. I'm like, what the heck is this? Was he going to resurrect here? Yeah, that was quite weird, and it was never explained. Oh, by the way, the leader, he's killed with a freaking spear. Yeah, and the guns that the SWAT people were given were defective. Yeah, they exploded right in their face. Yeah. And also that they also had a a swamp horror is part of the group. They never explain why the heck he's even freaking there. He's treated like a freaking servant. Now, how the heck this guy got here? Don't know. He does know about his people. Okay, fine. Was he kidnapped and forced to be part of this particular organization? Never revealed. It's kind of like basically that. I kind of felt this episode was most on the fly, and I think the only thing defended was Kroll himself, which they revealed that the reason why he's so freaking huge is because he ate the 5th segment key at a time. So Doc takes the tracer, gets knocked over, and then uses the tracer to touch Kroll, and then he disappears. The swamp people think he killed Kroll. He really didn't. He turned back to a normal-sized squid. He's a giant squid. I'm like, giant squids aren't based... That's just a normal squid. Oh, and then they find the TARDIS. And they leave. Unlike the last story, they actually go back to the TARDIS, which, God praise him for that. At least it's not like... I think that was funny, the last one. This one basically felt like, okay, finish the job. Go for like, oh, I think we parked over here, and we parked over here, and then they finally found it, no problem. My only problem with this story is... Because normally I like seeing these classic Goku stories where we first see the Doctor where he's basically like, not exactly come as TARDIS per se, but we don't see the interior of the TARDIS, which is strange. Yes, we just see the box itself. It appears briefly in episode 1, and then it appears briefly at the end of episode 4. Yeah, I get the fact TARDIS is not really much of a factor, but come on, can you at least show the damn thing? Yeah. Oh, it will play a role in the next story. Oh, don't worry about that. But I gotta say, out of the 5 segments I see so far, this is the weakest one. Yes. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's... like, in the case of the previous one, at least was interesting. This... like, oh, capture... like... Yeah, by the way, this is also, fun fact, Mary Thames, the one who plays Romana in this story, her second to last appearance ever in Doctor Who. Yep, second to last time. Next story, we see the debut of the woman who replaced her. I'll discuss that in the next review. Probably, it might happen tomorrow, or it could happen Friday. Okay? So yeah, that's it, particular review. Next episode, Comic Corners, and I'll call it a night. Okay, next review. Bye.